Leave. Okay?
Okay.
Yalla, bye. Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Well, the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, has ordered 10 members of Parliament and 5 parliamentary staff to mandatorily self-quarantine after their return from abroad. Now, last week, the Speaker asked 2 MPs to quarantine themselves as part of measures to protect the House in the wake of the pandemic. Addressing the media on measures being taken to keep Parliament safe from the virus, he urged the public not to visit their MPs.
A number of people went abroad to do very legitimate business, but the circumstances of the time are such that as they return, we need to take certain measures. They are not punitive, they are protective of themselves, their families, and Parliament and its guests and workers and members as a whole. As we are speaking now, 10 members of Parliament who travel abroad in these circumstances have been asked to stay in self-isolation for the mandatory number of days. 5 members of staff who also went abroad and came back have been asked to do the same. This is for the protection of all the people here and the unsuspecting members of the public who may also happen to visit the premises for the genuine business that they have. So this mandatory self-quarantine of MPs and staff are in operation right now. We have also in the interim advised all members of Parliament 2 seats away from each other so that we'll give ourselves some space. As you know, people are required by WHO regulations, etc., not to sit too close to each other, even family members. And we all have to obey in the interest of the public as a whole. We've also embarked upon fumigation exercise. In fact, yesterday, from morning to dusk, the whole premises were fumigated. The Job 600 Tower Block Annex, the Chamber is Annex, the Speaker's Block, the new Administration Block, Parliament Police Station, Parliament Fire Station, the uncompleted Visitors Center, and all relevant places were fumigated fully yesterday under the close supervision of the Marshal, the Doctor, and other relevant officials.
Well, let's go live now. Let's speak to my colleague, Joseph Gakpo, who has been following this for us. Joseph, any indication when Parliament is moving to the conference center?
Specifically, no indication has been given. From what the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, explained earlier today, it's still an issue that's under conversation. And he makes the point that if it becomes critical that they would have to move, that's when we would see the situation of the members of Parliament moving there. But one thing that is indicated clearly is that the House is not starting, and chances are that per the original timetable, it's likely that they will be adjourning sitting next week Friday, which is actually what they had agreed on right from when they started proceedings in the House. So we wait to see what will happen in the days ahead. Professor Michael Quay has been giving details on that.
And Joseph, the conversations about the MPs who are now being asked to self-quarantine started last week when the health minister was on the floor. He disclosed in fact, the majority that disclosed the identities. Do we know who they are? Now it's risen to what? 10 MPs, 5 staff. Do we know who they are?
So it's now risen to 10 members of Parliament, 5 staff of Parliament. As at last week, there were just 2 members of Parliament. The Ayawaso East Member of Parliament, that's Nessa Mahama Ture, as well as the MP for Bundiri, who is the Deputy Minister who is actually the Deputy Ranking Member on the Health Committee of Parliament. Those were the 2 individuals. But today, the Speaker disclosed that it's risen to 10. He was asked a specific question about the identities of the 8 others who have been added on, and he refused to disclose it. And later, the majority leader explained that the earlier two were disclosed because they had been spotted within the precinct, even at a time when there was a caution that they shouldn't be around. That's how come the majority leader felt it was necessary to put out their details. But the speaker and the majority leader are refusing to disclose the names of the 8 others who have been added onto the list, apart from the 5 staff of parliament who had earlier been asked to go self-quarantine.
There are further developments tonight on this pandemic as it relates to Parliament. We know over the weekend the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, had written a very comprehensive letter on what they believe, the minority side believes, should be the approach to dealing with the pandemic. He was suggesting a bipartisan committee. The speaker was asked about whether he's received this particular letter. What was his reaction?
He said it's a letter that hasn't come to his notice at all. He says he is particularly surprised because on a regular day he would meet the minority leader during pre-sitting meetings right in Parliament, virtually on daily basis. So he doesn't see how come he's not bothered to bring this to his attention. And he went on to make the point that when the House sat last Saturday, the minority leader wasn't around. When the House sat today, he wasn't around. So he wonders where the letter is and is surprised that he's not really brought it to his personal attention.
I've not seen nor heard of any letter, notification, information whatsoever from the honorable minority leader about any meeting or suggestions with regard to this virus. None. Let me also say that we meet regularly before we sit every morning. The clerk was there this morning, the honorable majority leader was there, the honorable chief whip was there. Honorable Doyle was the person present as a member of the minority. The minority leader was not even there, nor was the minority leader present on Saturday, so that if he had any good thing, he could tell me. I'm very, very willing to accept any suggestion from any quarters, particularly the honorable minority leader as a leader in the House. If he has any such written document, which apparently more than one media man knows of, then he has kept it a specific media secret. And I'm shocked, honestly. I'm surprised that you mentioned this. But 2 gentlemen have mentioned it this morning. So there must be something in it. I don't know of any such document. And I don't see any reason why any such document must be kept away from me. May I advise, since I'm also asked a word of encouragement, for good reason I'd like to limit myself to the parameters of Parliament, which of course is my mandate until the end of this year, that we are here actually to discuss matters regarding the safety of Parliament. But Parliament is also the representative house of the people. And I would like to ask our people as a whole to please cooperate with the government that now is the government of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
That's Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quayle. On the telephone line with me right now is Majority Leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Evans Mensah. Mr. Mensah, thank you for your time here on Newsnight. Has any decision been taken yet when exactly Parliament will be relocating to the conference centre in these unprecedented times?
Well, we are watching the radar, and depending on events that unfold in the days ahead of us, we may relocate. But for now, we believe that the Chamber of Parliament is serving as well. But as I'm saying, if it becomes necessary, we shall relocate.
And I've heard today a raft of new measures announced, but still with whether the chamber is adequate or not. From what it is right now, the gallery has been cleared, I understand. I guess if you're observing social distancing at least a meter, can the house still be, I guess, managed in this time, use the gallery as well? And will the conference center really solve that problem?
Well, you'd know that the galleries, the public galleries, don't have microphones And so if we have to use the galleries, we'll have to work out the electronics to suit those of them who perhaps may go up. So we are open to options, and we will not close any option. But for now, as I said, today, for instance, when we sat, the house wasn't full, and about half of the membership that was there, the seating was enough to accommodate us, leaving the next contiguous seat to a member unseated, and the subsequent one being occupied by another person. So there was at least an empty seat between each one of us who was in the chamber today, and it served the purpose. And there were a few other empty seats at the back benches. So, as I said, once we go on, the circumstances of the times would dictate whether to relocate or not to relocate.
But certainly, Parliament is not suspending its sitting anytime soon as a result of the pandemic.
It will depend on the events as they unfold. We are not insensitive to the public health emergency that has attracted international concern, and which indeed has been declared by the World Health Organization as a global pandemic. But we're following carefully risk assessment based on information that we're provided by our medical officers in the House and elsewhere, and also look at circumstances around us. And as I said, if it becomes necessary, we would want to do what is required. We must work to ensure inclusiveness in what the President has suggested to us as a nation. Unfortunately, as you do know, given the circumstances of Parliament, whatever the President says, which requires to be backed by a relevant legislation, would require the presence of at least one half of all of us in Parliament to do so. So the conduct of parliamentary business is something else. We'll be walking on a knife edge, but we'll see what to do as the times unfold.
And unfortunately, a few of your members, the possibility may have been that they've been exposed. They've been asked to, as Speaker announced today, do mandatory quarantine. I wonder, in the interim though, where are they? Are they been coming to work, into the floor and mingling? And have they complied with this directive by the Speaker?
They have complied. In fact, both members of Parliament and the staff who travelled outside have all complied.
And who are these members of Parliament, by the way?
Well, I'm not really minded to disclose the identities of those members. The first one I did, and I did because information that came to me, which turned out to be false, was that at least one of the members was in the presence of Parliament, which is what information that was communicated to me by the Marshal's Department. We're trying to reach out to the member and the staff, one member and one staff. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to them, which is why I used the medium of Parliament to announce their names. Eventually, we got through to them, and they were not even in the presence of Parliament. So, sometimes you do these things and you cause panic and fear. So I think the better arrangement is rather to be engaging them behind the curtains. Unfortunately, and we are advised, and indeed we are informed, and we believe same to be true, that both members and staff, I think there were about 10 members and 5 staff who traveled out. They've all returned, and they're all complying.
And there's a question, though, because I'm just looking at the global examples that politicians who, of course, are invested with the mandate to the people, the examples elsewhere that show that when members of Parliament and politicians get it, it's announced. I mean, because, of course, they are representing people. Their constituents need to know. You don't see the argument there. Who they are. If my MP is affected and is in self-isolation, I would want to know who and how he's faring.
Oh, well, as I said, you would really permit me to end it there as far as identifying them is concerned. I've told you the reasons why we did so for the first time. But the second time, I think the better arrangement would be to keep the identities locked down, the identities of the people locked down and not be exposed.
And very finally, the minority leader had written a letter. The speaker reacted to this today. Very detailed, comprehensive suggestions. Bottom line, he wants a bipartisan approach to dealing with the outbreak, at least from the parliamentary point of view. What's your reaction to that?
Honestly, my attention was drawn to it today in the chamber. But given what we were doing in the chamber, I couldn't really look at it until after the meeting that the speaker chaired, that I came back and had a look at it. I've read through it on 2 occasions. On the face of it, the minority leader says that he wants a bipartisan approach. And yet, reading it, he dismisses outright what government is doing, including the passage of the law on restriction. He describes it as myopic and in very strange language. And if you want a bipartisan approach, and you refer to a bill that Parliament has passed as draconian, unnecessary, and unfortunate, and that kind of language. You really want a bipartisan approach? The language is so acerbic, and I thought if really he wanted a bipartisan approach, that certainly shouldn't have been the start-off point. But be that as it may, I still want us to engage to see what they bring on board, because what government all through, they have been saying that the piece of legislation that Parliament has passed was most unnecessary, and they think that it should have been coronavirus specific. Government disagrees, and indeed, those of us in the majority disagree, because we wanted to have a vehicle that will respond to the imperatives of Article 2021, and then use that vehicle to ferry any imperatives that ensue subsequent to any emergency erupting in the country, or any anticipations, be it a disease, be it flooding, whatever, that would require prompt and urgent action. So if you do, then along the line they said, well, we should mention coronavirus. You might as well mention malaria. You might as well mention measles. You might as well mention chickenpox. All other diseases in the bill. Is that right? Some of us felt that was most necessary. Let's construct the vehicle and then go along with it. But as I've said, I thought the language used and his own perspectives were not the best. But I don't claim to be a repository of knowledge and wisdom. We still can have space to sit and then think through their own suggestions, many of which government is already doing anyway. In fact, most of which government is already doing anyway. And if there are any matters that are outstanding, let's put our minds together, because at the end of the day, we should all be concerned about the effort to contain the spread of the coronavirus and safeguard the health and safety of our citizens, and indeed of members, the staff, and everybody who is concerned. So, government doing what they are doing now, the ban on large public gatherings, the closing of schools, and all those matters, restrictions on travels and so on. To me, they are all geared towards prevention. Today we saw the fumigation in various markets and public spaces. Yesterday in Parliament they came to do the same thing. And I think that these are matters that should stand all of us in good stead. But if there are other matters that we need to brainstorm on in order to save lives, in order to protect lives, why not? We are standing ready, we're standing by to engage our colleagues. But I'm saying that the start-off point certainly is not the best. But we're not sparing it. We'll see what we can do together.
I'm grateful. That is the majority leader, Osechi Mensah Bonsu. Now let's look at the testing testing regime in Ghana currently when it comes to the coronavirus. And remember, I'm sure you recall over the weekend, the president's third broadcast to the nation on Saturday, the president promised the nation about 50,000 test kits, he says, are coming.
The Ministry of Health will not only step up its contact tracing efforts, but will also see to it that all persons who have been identified as having come into contact with infected persons are tested for the virus. More personal protection equipment are being procured to beef up supplies for our frontline health workers. 50,000 additional test kits have been ordered and are expected in the country very shortly. Thirdly, the Ministry of Health is mobilizing new and retired healthcare professionals to augment our preparedness in dealing with the possible surge in infections. It is heartening to hear the numbers of retired healthcare professionals who have stepped forward to offer their services. Just as it is to note the Ghanaian entrepreneurs who have responded to this crisis by producing greater quantities of sanitizers and Veronica buckets.
Well, so Ghana currently has 2 centers undertaking testing for COVID-19. One of such is the Noguchi Memorial Institute here in Accra. But authorities there say the facility is under-resourced. Here's virologist Dr. Kofi Bonnet on Ultimate Health.
We should move from the period where we say we are voting.
We've allocated.
Or we have allocated.
It's in the pipeline.
To the year where we say this is it. Take it. And
I have prompted the finance minister.
Yes. See, so you prompted when? So, at first they talked about 2.5 million.
Right, yeah.
I don't know how much.
I watched that movie.
Then now they promised that they are going to look for $100 million.
Okay.
So we are waiting.
So Noguchi is waiting.
Noguchi is waiting. There have been promises, and there have been, maybe they have made some commitment.
I think I will marry you, but we're not married.
Yes, so we are waiting. So
Noguchi is waiting for now for release of government support.
Yeah, for now we have resources.
If I may, Kofi, for now you have resources you are deploying, you are using them.
Exactly.
But I am asking specifically about government support because we are seeing a ramp up in cases. Right. In a short number of days, we are at 21. I'm sure by the time I finish this program, it may have changed. And I'm seeing what is happening in other countries. So Noguchi, and can I say that this would apply to KCCR? Or you?
Of course.
Yeah.
KCCR, because you can leave them out.
So our 2 testing centers are yet to receive support.
Yes, there have been some commitment.
All right.
And I think they are firm commitment.
They are firm.
Very firm. So firm, that means something is almost on the table.
Okay.
So we are hoping that within the next few days, we'll get it in our hands so that we can do this.
Well, we'll be assessing shortly what this increased testing, the logistical challenges mean. We are moving to the next phase now, dealing with the community transmissions. We will be analyzing that for you shortly. But I want to quickly go to Parliament again, where there is some unease about a justification that the Speaker gave today on why they may need a new chamber. Remember that particular argument? Well, the Speaker today has been speaking, referring to the COVID-19 pandemic and saying maybe that is the reason why they will require a new chamber. Listen to him.
Review of the global instructions as to distance between persons when seated or standing. For the time being, we want to let one seat in between every 2 members so that we sit in a way whereby it will be healthy for us. And also, we will be showing a good example to our countrymen and women because of our stature as members of this family. Meanwhile, as the majority leader suggested the other day, we are in the process of making all relevant arrangements if we can relocate temporarily to the conference center, cause the resolution of the executive, and carry on for our business there. And maybe these things will make people realize that Parliament really is in need of a more spacious place to do the business that we are mandated to do. So in future, all these things will be considered accordingly. So that is for us to take. So as much as possible, leave one seat in between, and if the whips will please take note accordingly.
So that's the Speaker of Parliament there, putting out a justification using coronavirus, COVID-19, as a basis to say, well, listen, the public objected to us having a new chamber, but now we have to move to the conference center, possibly, and it's a reason why we need a new chamber. You remember there's a campaign that was started against that. In the wake of the COVID-19 and the peculiar challenge Parliament is in now, are those campaigners, have they had a change of mind on this particular subject? Let's speak to the Freedom Fighters Group, is the head of advocacy of the Economic Fighters Group. Joins us on the telephone line right now, Namata Siramaga Musisi. Thank you, Namata, for your time. Have you had a change of mind yet on this particular matter, knowing the peculiar challenge Parliament is in right now?
I have not had a change of mind, and we have not had a change of mind. I think it's important to look at it like this. What the Speaker has said demonstrates a lack of focus, right? We are at a very critical point in this situation. If you look at what has happened in other countries, there has been a period of about 2 weeks from the first case being reported until you are able to basically decide whether, the people are going to essentially start dying like flies, or whether you're going to be able to sort of contain the situation. It is no secret that our healthcare system is under-resourced. And so it is very important for us to look at this moment in time as a period of great focus and understanding that many lives will be lost if we do not proceed as needed. We cannot be talking about chambers. Our leaders need to be telling us how they are going to be supporting those who wish to innovate. Our leaders need to be telling us how they are supporting the under-resourced healthcare system. They need to be telling us how they're going to be supporting the researchers. I mean, even just down to sensitization. Fighters was in Eastern Region just this Saturday. We stormed the National Identification Center at Comet Estate. Now, one of the things that we found very concerning was the fact that not only were the community not well informed about the COVID-19 pandemic, but the fact that also the NIA officials were not well informed. We had to tell them to stop touching each other. We had to tell them to keep social distance, right? So it is a problem. And so for our leadership, in order for our leadership to show us exactly how they are going to proceed, they need to lead us. They need to put the people first. And we cannot be talking about chambers. We need to put the people first.
You think the timing, you almost suggest it's almost opportunistic to use this as a basis to go back to a debate that the public said emphatically that we don't want to have?
Yes, we cannot. It's insensitive, to be very honest. If you think about it, I mean, look at what's happening around the world. Thousands are dying. And we know what system we're facing, and we know what pandemic we're facing. And so we know that there's a very huge challenge ahead of us. We should not be raising issues like this. Instead, we should be ensuring that the people stay calm, that they feel led, that they feel supported in our efforts to deal with the situation. So yes, it is opportunistic.
That's head of advocacy of the Economic Fighters League, Namata Siramaga Musisi. What do you make of this all and the way Parliament is dealing with this particular matter? I want to hear from you, 0244-340437. Still ahead, will the mass disinfection exercise undertaking in major markets in the Greater Accra region and elsewhere today stem the coronavirus spread? We'll get the wrap of the exercises today shortly for you. And then later on the flip side, we will bring you how the global pandemic is affecting enforcement of immigration rules. And if you want to travel somewhere, well, listen to this very exciting conversation between a potential traveler who put a call through to get a visa clarification.
Yeah, but I want to know how to extend my visa.
We do not know what's going on in the world. We do not know. If you want to know, ask Mr. Virus Corona what time you are going to leave. Okay? Yalla, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Let's do business now, and Charles Aite is here with the latest. Hello, Charles.
Hi, Evans. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right. So coming up in business, Electricity Company of Ghana encourages whistleblowing on illegal connections for a 6% commission, and Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems gets to be firm in waiving off interbank and cross-wallet transfer charges as it moves to facilitate cashless transactions amid the coronavirus pandemic. Business on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to a new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, number one-stop shop for all office essential. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
My family loves visiting me. Because I've got the super reliable and super fast 4G plus MTN Turbonet.
Everything is downloading so
And
fast.
with this super fast MTN Turbonet, it's non-stop fun and entertainment for the whole family at my house. Wow, I finally
Grandma, this is so amazing.
Connect your home and entertain your family at the speed of yellow. Get an MTN Turbonet today and stay connected to the things that matter most. Only on Ghana's fastest network. Dial *5057# to purchase an internet bundle today. We day for you everywhere you go.
Mr. Barr has big dreams for his business, Barr & Co. Limited, and his family, making them a reality man to long drives and queues. He's lost precious time struggling to pay his suppliers in China, Turkey, India, and other parts of the world. With the First National Bank global payment via our online banking enterprise, he now pays for all that in the convenience of his home or office, giving him time to focus on family and growing his business. Use our online banking enterprise to access Forex when you need it. It takes a bank that does more to help your family. So who's helping yours? First National Bank. How can we help you?
We know it's important to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in your employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is regulated and licensed by the National Health Insurance Authority to provide medical insurance services to institutional clients, families, and individuals. Apex Student Package and International Medical Solutions are all here to cushion you. Visit Apex Health Insurance Office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, or call
0501-683-914
or 0232 000 015. In Kumasi, we are located opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and in Takrady, Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And you're welcome to Business on Newsnight. Now, customers of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, will be paid a 6% commission if the information leads to the power provider retrieving funds from illegal connections. The Electricity Company of Ghana has been losing millions of cedis annually to illegal connections across the country. But the managing director for ECG, Kwame Ajimambudu, who spoke to Joy Business, said they will encourage the public to help in the fight against illegal connection.
We are also trying to encourage customers to stop the other people, the bad people who are stealing power from us. We have a commission policy whereby if you are a customer or a public person, identify illegality, notify ECG. And if ECG is able to identify really that it's illegal and we are able to generate bill, we will give the person, the informant or the good citizen person, a 6% commission. It's a very incentive that I encourage Ghanaians to embark upon that program for us.
For the Electricity Company of Ghana, Kwame Ajimambudu there. Now, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GEP, says they remain committed to achieving a cashless society as they waive off all charges on transactions facilitated by their outfit. This would mean that regardless of the volume or value, mobile money transfers across different networks, check clearance and other bulk payments would all not attract any charges. Let's hear Archie Hesse, the Chief Executive of GEPS.
When it
comes to payments, then we feel there's a need for us to support non-contact forms of payment and to help the whole industry to migrate as quickly as possible to non-contact forms of payments to reduce the spread of the virus. It's in that regard we engaged and we made a decision that the 3 platforms in question. These 3 platforms are the main platforms that support non-contact forms of payment. So our wish is to encourage all banks, mobile money network companies, and fintechs to connect their mobile apps and also their USSD so that customers can effect payments remotely.
Archie Hesse is Chief Executive of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems. Now, Ghana Hotels Association is asking governments to come to their aid or see the once vibrant industry collapse. This is because hotels in the country have been the hardest hit by the coronavirus pandemic. General Manager of Monarch Hotel, Richard Danso, who spoke to my colleague Darryl Kwao on the marketplace on Joy News, said the impact of COVID-19 will lead to high unemployment and government losing revenue.
What's happening now is basically what Doc mentioned. Hotels thrive on occupancy, and now since we've cut everything, I mean it's practically empty. So workers have to go home.
You don't have 1 or 2 people in the.
We don't have 2 people for now, but they are stuck in Ghana now because they can't travel out because all borders are closed. I think 1 Canadian and 1 Sierra Leone. All borders are closed, so they have to stay. They don't. But obviously we have to cut the staff because we need to pay staff throughout the whole period, and nobody knows when it's ending.
General Manager of Monarch Hotel, Richard Danso, there. Now, MultiChoice Ghana is promising good content to customers in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic, which has seen some public and private sector employees work from home as a way of decongesting the workplace. This is because even though major leagues and events across the globe have been suspended, Joy Business is learning that subscription has gone up. Public Relations Officer of MultiChoice Ghana, Nia Madagudu, says they are committed to providing compelling content, especially as the thirst for news intensifies amid the pandemic.
What happened when most of the major leagues, the Premiership, the La Liga, Serie A, F1, and a few other major sporting events, initially we saw a slight dip in subscriptions. But in the last couple of days, because of the lockdowns around the world, we are seeing customers also coming back because they want to know what is happening in the world, what the latest trends are with respect to how to protect themselves. And for us as a business, we believe that our customers need to get this value, and that's why we're bringing down the news and all that other content to make sure that customers are adequately covered.
And that's Public Relations Officer of MultiChoice Ghana, Ni Amadagadu, ending business on Newsnight.
Your success, our passion.
So how the thing end? My God, so we video call like 2 minutes. Then now she say make I take over, come meet them. But Charlie, as I hang up, we are Rexy, my data finish. See, I roam, I no get it back. So after they come look for another phone. Hey, my guy, hold up. You see why you for use Vodafone? I be all be the same data. Who tell you? Now with Vodafone, whether you get data or not, you go free use the Uber app with no data charges at all. Hey, you sure? Oh yeah. Now Vodafone the Uber partner. So even if you get data where you use the Uber app, then they tell you anything. Where if you no get data safe, Charlie, you the free use the Uber Uber app simple. No data matter bia. Where would a be safe be say as you dey use the app, you dey fit get free ride. Where it come with some champion discount. You can now order your Uber ride at no data cost and stand a chance to enjoy free rides and amazing discounts. Switch to Vodafone today.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Hey, I say, mix the cement in correct proportional. Hey, contractor. Hey, Buccaneer. What's your soul? Yeah, Malande. Sorry, I say. When you attend the year of return, Ankasa. Hey, contractor. A danya wasting ye. Hey, what push mama me feeling too much? Who project here? Me friend a gas them from top to down. If you are a gas them. Hey, yes, solid pa. Hey, you see gas them ah. And for soup in our do. On your quality no question. So gas them cement biara. I will cook a crab bee. Over 5,000 plus communities. And a gas them. I donations. SCC schools, I built a clinic. No one packaging now. What's Shadara and environmentally friendly?
Never compromise on quality. Choose the value Gassam offers you always. Gassam, the nation builder.
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Boost and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop. With customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, so live here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Evans Mensah. A few of your messages on our WhatsApp console. This one from PK on the Spinkters Road says, Evans, the Speaker of Parliament should be looking at how we can reduce the number of parliamentarians so that they can fit into the existing House. The number of MPs in Ghana is too much for our small population. This one from... Segbe Hebel in the water region says, Evans, good evening. It's now obvious that the COVID-19 is becoming very scary, yet government as of now has not said anything about suspension of classes or BECE candidates. What the president said, they will be exempt from the closure. As I speak, BECE candidates and their teachers are still in school. Well, that's in keeping with the president's directive. Mauta from Pando says, I am shocked that the Speaker of Parliament is using this outbreak as a justification for the new Parliament House. Doesn't he think that this outbreak should rather make them think more about how to improve our health and educational sector so that we won't get to where we are now? Those are a few of your messages on our WhatsApp console. Now, 1,000 markets were today shut down to make way for a mass disinfection exercise to stem the spread of the dreaded COVID-19. Now, Maxwell Agbagba was at the Central Business District and other markets in Accra with the Accra Mayor, Mohammed Ajay-Soa, and has filed this report.
The chlorine killing bacteria and viruses and not rodents and cockroaches. So we will not end up in the day with a lot of rats being killed. The focus in the chemical composition has got its target, is to kill bacteria and virus, and that's the focus of this exercise strictly. We should know that this is not a normal fumigation that we do within the market every quarter to make sure that we fumigate the market. This is to kill a virus which is spreading on the surfaces of our body and any other item. So I think that the people of this country and then that of the city dwellers should be assured that we are doing the right.
The disinfection exercise is also taking place here at the Kameshi market. A lot of the shops we've seen here, all the shops we've seen here, in fact, have been closed. We find some of the sellers standing on this overhead bridge just monitoring the disinfection exercise that is going on. But from here, you can see gallons of blue gallons of the disinfectant. Some members of the disinfection team also standing closely, going inside there. Let's get closer and speak to a member of the Accra Sub Metro. He's the director of the Accra Sub Metro. Let's speak to him and find out from him what level we are right now. Chief,
we are looking at the surroundings. We are also looking at the first floor. We can't do the ground floor because there are foodstuffs there. And so what it means is that we would have to find another day to come and do the ground floor. Because we can't fumigate whilst we have foodstuffs. The chemicals is not good for consumption.
Okay. But I'm sure the market women were informed. So what really happened?
Yes, it's a bit technical because when they move their foodstuff, where do they take them? That's the challenge. So after we finish the first floor, I mean with approval from the mayor and then EPA, then they will okay the second phase of the exercise where would move the foodstuffs.
The Tuesday market here sees a beehive of activity every weekday, but today is quite different as the market is empty with no activity whatsoever. Just some minutes ago, the disinfection team left here after spraying this market. What we've witnessed here, however, is the different layers of polythene bags the market women have used to protect their wares here. I've been speaking to the head of the Ablekuma South Emergency Response Team here, the head of the ambulance unit here, and he's been explaining to me what their role is in this exercise.
We are supporting the military and the disinfecting team. In case there is any emergency, we are on standby so that we can give medical coverage. Yeah, so that is why we are here.
Okay. So far, have you had?
Oh, currently everything is cool. We went around and with the team while they were doing the fumigation through Agbogloshi, and then some of the team have gone to the other sector, and then we have come back to complete the disinfection in Tuesday market here now.
Okay, so that is the case with the Central Business District. John Usis, Justice Bedu was also in the Agbogloshi market. The deteriorating sanitation situation was brought to the fore again as the country began a nationwide spraying exercise as part of the preparations to deal with COVID-19. That is what Justice also found out.
These are not ordinary times, and there couldn't be a better place to see that than here, Agbogloshi, Accra's busiest market. The people who are always up from dawn to dusk in its hustle and bustle today left whiling away time.
The last time a shutdown like this in a major market in Accra happened was around 2008. And so for many of the people here, this is like the first time they are seeing something like this. This, which is the Onion Market, on a regular Monday would be a very busy spot. You barely could have a place to even pass because these trucks behind me would just be coming in with onions from all over West Africa, countries like Niger and Mali, making their way into the market with people who have come from all over Accra here to purchase them out of the market.
Inside, city authorities are getting ready for work to disinfect the market in what they say could be a game changer in the country's battle against the spread of COVID-19.
The purpose of this spraying is to sterilize and then destroy the microorganisms that are on the surfaces of the market and the streets that can lead or can act as an agent that will transmit any kind of this virus to somebody unknowingly.
As the drone doing the spraying goes up in the air, out onlookers record the moment with their mobile phones. In the middle of all this, Agbogloshi's age-old problem of fields and choked gutters remains and visible from everywhere.
Look at the environment.
This place stinks. This is the market where all the big restaurants from all over Accra come to buy foodstuff, and yet no one cares about sanitation here. This is not safe.
But
the markets are open again for business in 24 hours. And everyone here will be looking forward to what difference today's exercise would make. Justice Beidou, Joy News, Accra.
Well, we'll move to Tema, where the municipal chief executive of Tema, Felix Nianandla, is confident that coronavirus will not venture into the market in the Tema enclave after 250 sprayers. He believes used the adequate disinfectants that he believes will prove effective in dealing with the virus. Mamesi Namacha Thompson has more.
The exercise started at 10 a.m. after a 4-hour delay from deployment teams, but when work finally started, it sailed smoothly. The Community 1 market, covering 24 acres of land, was biggest. The team had to deploy a drone, fogger and sweepers to do justice to the congested market. Leading the exercise is General Manager of the Tema branch of Simlion, Seth Apia Okran.
The drone is going to spray all the lorry stations. We have the Community 5 lorry station, we have the Casino lorry station, and then there's one around the main station. Is going to spray this area. Of chlorine. That's why we don't want people to be around. Immediately we spray, they should stay away a little while. Not so that it's only a day's work. After today, tomorrow they can go back to the market or wherever to sell.
Sweepers have to enter every nook and cranny of the market to ensure that all germs are wiped out before the market traders return to sheds tomorrow. Felix Nianandla is MCE.
He's going to prevent it from spreading. And two, this is an exercise. I told you this is not going to be fixed and live. It will continue. And also I told you on Thursday we have educated the market queens and how to manage themselves in the market. It is not only about fumigation, you know. You yourself, you know. You have to wash your hand every time. You have to sanitize. You have to do all that you need to do. Once again, I want to let you know that this virus is not a joke. And the media has a role to play. You also have to come in and assist.
Others, including Communities 9, 8, 7, Fishing Harbour and Tema Newtown, were wiped clean. Greater Accra Regional Minister Ishmael Ashte hopes the exercise is done religiously.
I'm saying that the exercise is a very good exercise. It has got a tendency of, like I said, reducing illnesses, not only coronavirus, other illnesses. I advise the MCE of Ashama, and I will advise this one here too, that they should not take it as a one-time exercise.
Traders are expected back to the market tomorrow to start off on a fresh note. They are expected to follow strict hygienic rules when they return.
Well, let's do some sports now, and Benedict is here. Hello, Benedict. How is do you still have sports though? Because yes, I wonder in the time of coronavirus, everything is suspended.
No, a lot is happening. I mean, it's got to do with postponements, all players stocking, the 10 stay-at-home challenge. I'm yet to see yours. I did mine over the weekend.
What is that? What is stay-at-home challenge?
The two-roll juggling.
Oh, okay, juggling two-roll.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, I did mine. It was good.
I'll do mine tomorrow for you to see.
Please do. Well, Italy-based Ghanaian midfielder Akuja Asamoah says he's been home for the past 14 days, and that has not been easy as a footballer. Now, Italy has become the worst-hit country in Europe, and for Asamoah, who plays for Inter Milan, life there keeps getting difficult.
Well, it hasn't been easy because looking at the cases that we've had here, I got scared a little bit because this virus, you can get it through like contacts and then the distance. So I was quite a bit scared for the past weeks. I've been home for about 14 to 15 days. But anytime that I feel a bit strained, I feel a bit scared because you never know when.
So that's Kuja Asamoah, who plays for Inter Milan. You hear more from him on tomorrow's edition of the Joy Sports Center. Now, UEFA has announced the postponement of the Champions League, Women's Champions League and Europa League finals due to the virus pandemic. However, European football's governing body has not decided on new dates for the three fixtures. Also, Football in Spain, including La Liga, has been put on hold indefinitely while the country deals with the continued spread of the virus. And World Athletics President Lord Cole has called for this summer's Olympic Games in Tokyo to be postponed. Now, in a letter to the International Olympic Committee, that's their president, Thomas Bach, Cole says that an Olympics in July 2020 is neither feasible or desirable because of the coronavirus crisis.
Benedict, thank you very much. And Benedict brought us details from the world of sports. A few more of your messages. Good evening, Evans. We are spraying markets. What about our borders and airports where the virus is transported through into the country? Just thinking aloud. Abigail in Akachi centers that one. Josephine, well, this one has no name actually, says the health sector together with the government has done really well for this mass spraying to tackle this COVID-19 virus. We need unity in this crucial moment, so let all come together and fight this coronavirus. Joseph from Kumasi says, I thank the president for the measures taken, but I still blame them for not preparing for this as a government. Well, there is a sound clip that's gone viral. We can't independently verify, but it's one Indian lady, and you need to find the funny side of these dangerous, sad times you're in, just to cheer yourself up. And one of those is a call that was played to the Saudi embassy, we understand, to inquire about how the extent to which this lady, who is on a visa that is about to expire, can renew or fix a particular challenge. Take a listen to the interaction that ensued between this desperate lady with this official of the consulate who was giving advice in the wake of the pandemic.
For Saudi consulate, please press number 1. For Saudi affairs, please press number 2.
Hello, marhaba.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I am working in Saudi Arabia, and now I am in vacation in India.
Stay in India with your family. Don't go. Don't go. Stay. The virus is so big. People, they are dying. Okay,
but I want to confirm how to extend my visa.
Speak to your father. We are in trouble because this virus, all countries, they are in problem, okay? Stay with your mother, with your friend. Stay here, okay?
Yeah, but I want to know how to extend my visa.
We do not know what's going on in the world. We do not know. If you want to know, ask Mr. Virus Corona what time you are going to leave. Okay? Yalla, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Ask Mr. Virus Corona. Well, Charlie, you have to take some to laugh. I mean, in these times, you have to find ways to smile. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Evans Mensah.